Well, today I am participating in a collaboration initiated by the Grace Life DIY Home Decor. It's called Declutter My Space. This collaboration was exactly the motivation I needed to clean up a small space in my living room, which was creating huge problems. Let's see what's going on and how I fixed it. So this cabinet with the TV on top has been a sore point for a long time. I tolerated it because the TV was on it and it was in a central location. But the TV started acting up over the winter and it finally died its last death a few weeks ago, and it just kept standing there. Behind the TV was a mass of cords and modems and all sorts of electrical stuff. It was really dusty back there. I had arranged the cords earlier, separated them out so I knew which cord belonged to which, but it was still horrible looking and just added to my frustration with this setup. I did find some useful things back there. Battery operated light I can use, a small piece of equipment that helps strengthen the internet signal in other parts of the house and even across the street. When my TV was functional, I had a Roku, and even if it's the TV's not on, it still pulls from my internet from the amount of data I have available to me, because my internet is on amount of data used. It's a satellite system that I'm frustrated with, but that's a whole other video. Anyway, I got back there and I saw the Roku, even though I detached it from the TV, was still plugged into the power bar there, and because of that, it was still drawing data from my my monthly allotment. So I unplugged that immediately and took it with the controller, put it in a plastic bag, and I will be using that, I guess, at a later point. But right now, there's no reason to have it plugged in. The bottom drawer, because it was right on the ground, held all my weights. And I go through periods of time when I do weights a lot and periods of time when I don't do weights a lot. And I've been going through a period of time when I'm not doing weights a lot, yet there they are in the middle of the living room, taking up space. So basically I emptied everything out. I took all of the weights out from underneath the TV. The cabinet lifts up, so if there's something on top of the cabinet like the TV was, you can't get into that drawer underneath unless you take the TV off and move all that stuff in the cord. So I never opened it up, and I'd forgotten what was in there, but I saw I had a bunch of my CDs, etc., in there that I hadn't listened to for the longest time, and again, I forgot they were in there. So I opened that up. Basically, I cleaned everything out. I tried to put my weights in that cabinet drawer because I'm not using them right now, and if I do want to use them, then I would just take them out and move everything, but I couldn't see myself using them in the near future. So I thought I would try it, even though they're heavy, and as you can see in the next picture, even though there was already a sag, the bottom of that drawer, the sag was even bigger, so I took them out. Since I'm not getting a TV anytime soon again, and truthfully, if I get a TV again, it's going to be wall mounted, I thought about what I wanted to have on top of the cabinet there. So I decided my yoga books. I do yoga just about every day. I have my yoga mat and my block there, and my yoga books were on top of this messy bookshelf, which also needs to be cleaned out. So I thought I'd lighten its load and put it in a place that's closer to where I actually use it. So this is what it looks like now. I put all of the cords in the drawer, or on the shelf, the bottom shelf there. There's an air purifier and my yoga mat. On top are all the books. I ended up leaving that little cabinet area empty, that drawer empty, because getting in and out of there is so difficult, and finally came to the conclusion that if what I really need to do is get a cabinet that's functional with shelves or with drawers that open from the front. So in the meanwhile, I just left it empty, and I'll be looking for something else for that space. Regarding my music and all that, I'm setting that aside. I'm using my Roku on the television mainly for listening to music on the TV, just streaming music on YouTube. So I don't have the TV right now, and I'm not using the Roku, so maybe I should just use the CD player I have in the basement and start listening to some of the music I used to enjoy so much. So taken those binders, whatever, and set them aside, and we'll kind of see what happens if I actually listen to it as much as I think I want to. I did, however, find this great DVD set, The National Park System, which by Ken Burns. It's such a good series. I don't have a DVD player anymore, and I can get it in other ways, but my neighbor up the street does not have any streaming services at all, so I thought he would enjoy this. So I've set it aside. Next time I walk up to see him, I'll bring it to him. Well, I'm really happy with how this turned out. My TV and all that electronic stuff is in my car. It's strapped into the front seat, and in the next few days I'm taking it to the dump to electronic recycling. As I mentioned before, one of the changes I'm going to make as soon as I find the appropriate piece of furniture is to get rid of that cabinet with the opening in the lid. It just is not practical. As I mentioned, it's empty right now because I don't want to put things in there because I can't get them out. So I'll be on the lookout for something with drawers in the front or a cabinet. Then I can utilize that space better. Regarding my CDs, I'm going to bring my Hello Kitty CD player up from the basement and set it out, and we'll see if I actually use it. I also have a big space above that cabinet where the TV was standing and a little tiny picture, and it's not the most balanced. I may change some pictures around, I'm not sure, but ultimately I will be putting another television there, but mounted to the wall. So that's my declutter my space. I actually love it. I got rid of a lot of stuff. It's a much more practical space for me right now, and I'll be working through all the details to make this area even more practical and less messy. Thank you so much for watching.